Good morning. So this is a Scrap Your Stash Saturday, and we are going to be doing things again with Sweet Safari. This espresso paper, I'm going to try to use this stuff up here pretty quickly. Been using it for a while. I still have another little scrap too. Almond, sage, and white daisy is what I'm going to be using today. I'm going to also be using the stamp sets, Timber Cardmaking, and the Gnome Matter, the Gnome Matter stamp. This was back in July, but it's still available, and this one goes on sale next month. So I will get the sale prices up for you very soon, but this goes on sale next month, so be on the lookout for that. Very good deals on the Stamptacular April. So I'm going to be making a masculine card this morning, and I have a couple of thin cuts already done. I have a little gnome, and I have the little wooden tree there. Let's raise my light so I can see. Let's see. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be using Daisy as a background, and I'm going to be doing a stamped background, but and I could do it on my card, but if I mess up, then I have to cut my card, and then I can do it on the other side and then glue it on something else, or use a totally different card. So I'm going to just use Daisy. I have a lot of it, a lot more than the cards, so I'm just going to trim it down to a 5.5 by 4 1/4. Okay, so that's going to be my background. My next one is going to be 4 by 2.5, and let's see here. Yeah, let's try this one. Let me see how big this is first. That's really close to 4, and really close to 2.5. It's like an 1/8 of an inch off either way. Maybe a 1/4 inch off the other way. Not even. So, since it is so close, let's see, what do I want to do? I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this one. Since it is so close, I'm just going to keep it. Looks good to me. And I'm going to trim this down a 1/4 inch from that one. So this was an 1/8 of an inch off. So I'm going to trim this one down to 3. See, that was 3 7/8. So I'm going to trim it down to 3 5/8. And this one was just shy of 2.5. So let's go. 2 1/8. Let's try that. And this is just going to peek in front of this one. Okay, just like that. Okay, so there's that. My sage is done. I'm going to bring the bigger piece of this one in. Now I did this one horizontally. I think I'm going to do this one vertically. So I'm going to do a 4 1/4. Long. So I want actually my short end first. So 1 1/4 first. So I want this side to be the narrow side. 1 1/4 by 4 1/4. So it spans my entire card. And that's going to go vertically over here. So now I have a little bit of contrast with those two patterns. Now I have almond right here, and that one is going to be 2.5 square. So it looks like I have a 3 inch here so far, so let's just do, I'm actually going to trim this off because it looks like I cut it with scissors, so it doesn't look even to me. So I'm just going to trim that off. Okay. So 2.5 square, 2.5 by 2.5. I'm still using Sweet Safari for my scraps. Okay, one more cut of daisy, and this is going to be a 2.25 square, just to go in the middle of that almond. 2.25 by 2.25. Okay, so there's my card so far. I'm going to move my trimmer off to the side. And I'm going to work on my stamp background first. Okay, so I'm going to flip my Versamat over. I'm going to grab my toffee. And I'm going to be using this one first. And I'm just going to do the little logs and toffee. Good little log color. Now I've used this quite a bit, so since it is a July stamp, and again this morning I forgot to wet my chamois, so just a minute while I do so. Okay, that's good. Okay, so I just want to make sure I don't have any smudges, which I do. So I just wipe my smudges off. But you don't want to leave any wet residue either, so just be aware of that. And I'm just going to random stamp this background. And you kind of want to think of it in triangles. So things are always better in threes when you do a stamped background. So far, there's my little triangle. I'm going to create another little triangle here. Definitely should have moved that over. There's that triangle. Now I'm going to create one here. And I'm going to go off the page over here. Let's do it a different way. Give it a little bit of character. Now I'm going to build a triangle between these and this one and someone over here. If that makes sense. So there's my triangle there. I think I'm going to put one right in the corner here too. Very much off my Versamat, onto the Versamat. Okay, there's my stamp background. Now I could add the little axes in here if I really wanted, but I think I'm going to leave it just like this. Kind of like just the simplicity of just having the wood in there. So there's that. So always think of triangles when you're doing stamp backgrounds. Go ahead and cover this up, and I'm going to go ahead and stamp my gnome and my tree. I'm going to color both of these in, so I'm going to color them in off camera, just because you guys have seen me color them before, and it takes some time. But I am going to, and I use the tri-blend markers. So, and I always keep my dark sides up so I know which one is where. We do carry some holders for those, but I find that a peanut butter jar works really well for my desk. If you're traveling back and forth with them, then you may want one of the other things to help you out. One of the carriers. So I'm going to do this big log here. Now this is a thin cut, this is a thin cut. There's so many thin cuts in this one. Get a nice circle and you get the axe. You also have a Build-A-Plaid in this set, which is so fun. If you haven't ever built a plaid, that is a very fun activity to do. Okay, so I'm just going to ink this up. I'm using Intense Black. Whenever I do coloring of any sort, I use Intense. And it just helps because it's a faster drying ink than the Archival. The Archival is a really solid black. So if you're looking for a really good solid black for a sentiment, that's my go-to. It's actually my go-to for almost everything, unless I know I'm coloring. And hopefully I didn't mix these up in my holder, because I just grabbed and didn't look, but it is Intense. So there's my tree, little tree stump. And then my Gnome dude I'll do next. Okay, and if you use your stamp sets so much, like I've used these two a lot, they're starting to lose their stick on the back. If you notice that's happening, just go and wash it in warm water and you'll be fine. It'll retain its stick. It'll get its stick back. So it's not that bad. Plus, if you use it for like backside stamping, then that's the other thing that you want to do. You want to wash the back so that it gets that sticky back. So once you use it for backside stamping, it doesn't have the stick like it used to. And I use my gnomes all the time too, so they're well seasoned. Okay. Now it doesn't really matter if I have smudgies because I'm doing thin cuts, but it's a good habit to get into. From downward pressure, there's my little gnome. Okay, and again, I'm going to color them off camera. So let's go ahead and build this card. And I'll show you how the gnome and the wood are going to be. I also have the sentiment to stamp. I haven't decided what color I want to do that in yet. I might actually do it in sapphire. Actually, let's go ahead and do that first, because I have all my stamp sets out. So I'm going to do this Choppy birthday sentiment and the timber set. I'm hoping to do it anyway. It's going to fit perfectly. Barely, but perfectly. Okay. Let's do that in sapphire. I'm going to do sapphire. Now, like I said, this is a masculine card. I have quite a few birthdays in April, so I'm getting ready for those. I think I counted like something like 15 or 16 birthdays in April. And 9 of which are women, and the others are guys. So I have a lot of guys to make cards for. So there's my Choppy birthday. Okay, so I'm done with stamping, so I'm going to flip this back over. The first mat back over, and I'm going to start building this card. Okay. So I'm going to build it here, and then I'll put it on my base at the very, very end. But I have my Tombow runner. Okay, so I'm going to glue this one down first. Tape it down. And this is going to go just a little bit in the corner here. So it's not going to be fully in the center. It's going to be a little, like half an inch here and half an inch here. This will go in the center of that. Now usually I see which side is dark, but pretty sure it's this side. But I think either way will work at this time. So there's my sage. Now is going to be my vertical Sweet Safari. And I'm going to put that so that there's like half an inch of the very base layer of the Sweet Safari base down there showing. There we go. Then my almond. Now almond, I do want the dark side up, just because it is so light anyway. I like to give it a little bit more contrast with the daisy. And I'm going to do about half an inch from the top and probably about a quarter inch in from here. Okay. So there's that. Now I'm going to go ahead and do my sentiment on there. It's my Choppy birthday. Now I get to play with the placement of these guys. So I kind of want the wood in front. I could put him in front like this. I could put the wood in front like he's peeking out from behind it. I kind of like that better, especially for this person. So I think I'm going to put him down like that, and a little wood or a little stump here. So that's how that's gonna go. So I'm gonna lift this up so you guys can see. I'm not gonna glue it on the base yet because I want to color those little guys in. So I'm gonna color those in off screen. I'm gonna probably, I don't know if I'm going to add any more embellishments. I might add some black pearls, the black onyx pearls, onto this. Other than that, or some black dots or sapphire dots. Something like that. Something very simple but masculine. And I will post a photo of it for you. So we'll see you on Wednesday. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. Bye.